Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Kal Halal, La Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah Kwadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutation unto the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of Yasha Allah, upholding the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. Peace and salutation. This is the brother Bakwasha, and I want to start here in the book of Ecclesiastes, the first chapter and the second verse. It says, "Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity." And the reason why I want to get into this lesson is I saw a couple of clips I'm going to play here in a second, but it really just shows, regardless of where you are in this society, the status or the quote unquote fame, which is really just a perpetuation of materialistic goods. It really has no status, right? So it's all vanity. It's all empty. It has no value, right? And that's why these holy scriptures are the only value here on this side. The names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, those are the only true riches. You know, the wisdom that Yahweh Shai Shai has given the hopeful elect. Because in the days to come, the days that are nigh, more and more people are starting to see the world in which has been pulled over their eyes and realizing money doesn't make any difference. Women don't make any difference, right? Land, families, children, none of that makes any difference in a world of evil. Okay, so let's get to the word here, vanity. The word here, vanity.
Strong's H, 1892. Hevel.
It says emptiness or vanity. It says, and this is what I really want to hinge on. It says transitory and unsatisfactory. Transitory and unsatisfactory, meaning it's temporal. Everything here, regardless of whatever it is temporal aside from Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the prophecies, and being delivered. Okay? Because everything here is going to be done away with, man. And then it will be refreshed or kainos, right? Or to be renewed in righteousness. Because right now it's not in righteousness, but it's transitory. So it's always moving to something more, right? And that's why the kingdom of Yahweh Shai is eternal. Okay? So everything leading up to this point is just transitory. It's empty. It's vanity. It's unsatisfactory. Being in this flesh, okay, is unsatisfactory until we are in those celestial bodies, man. Then it's eternal. It's satisfactory, right? It's permanent, okay? So let's grab this definition real quick. Vain, empty. It says without substance. And what you're going to hear in these quick clips is it's just going to further prove that if you have money, you don't have money, you live in a nice place, you don't live in a nice place, it doesn't matter. The emptiness, the void is there. And the void is there because one of the main reasons why there's a void is because this is not a righteous kingdom. Okay? So let's read this word and we'll get into some of these clips. It says vain. It says having no value or importance. Okay? Idle, unprofitable, fruitless, producing no good result. Okay? Worthless. In ancient times, a woman that was a virgin had value because she was pure. Now, no woman, for the most part, is a virgin. So it doesn't have any worth because you're receiving used goods. And that's why even the things that you have are all depreciating. Okay? You buy a car, the value loses, right? You You eat a meal, it's temporarily satisfactory. And likewise with this whole existence, man, all it is transitory. Okay. But it doesn't have any purpose. And that's why being the men of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, the hopeful elect, this is our purpose, man. Okay. This is what we were created for. You know? But what people are now experiencing is the fall of this wicked society. And the spell is wearing off. Okay? So let's grab one more and then we'll bring out the video here. This is Sirach Salakia. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, "Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun." So regardless of whatever you're doing, if it's not the work of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, it's just vanity, it's vexation. It's a temporary pleasure. And even that in itself becomes dull. It becomes gray, you know? This is Ecclesiastes 2, verse 18. "Yea, I hated all my labor, which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me." You build up something, you know, you go to work for somebody else, right? None of those things are ownership. That's why we yearn for the kingdom, man. Okay? In which righteousness can dwell. Okay? So that's those new heavens and the new earth, man, being refreshed. Okay? Completely done away with all evil. Okay? And so, like I said, I just wanted to go into a couple of quick videos, and the reason why I wanted to show these specifically is because these guys are quote unquote at the pinnacle of their careers, but yet and still there's a void because it's all vanity and vexation of spirit. It's all vanity, and more vanity, meaningless, nothingness, worthless, unprofitable. Okay? It's what is it called? It's conflated. Okay? Meaning Esau has built up this imaginary idol for people to obtain, and then when they obtain it, there's no profit in them. So Lord will, this will be edifying. Just wanted to share this quick example, and then we'll move on to another one, and then we'll wrap up.
Not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of like the deepest, places of your heart. I think it's kind of funny. I think, I think I said something after the Byron this year about like, it feels like you work your whole life to celebrate winning a tournament for like a few minutes. It only lasts a few minutes, that kind of euphoric feeling. And I like to win the Byron Nelson Championship at home. I literally worked my entire life to become good at golf, to have an opportunity to win that tournament. And you win it, you celebrate, get to hug my family, my sister's there. It's such an amazing moment. And then it's like, okay, now what are we gonna eat for dinner? Life goes on. Is it great to be able to win tournaments and to accomplish the things I have in the game of golf? Yeah. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes just to think about, because it's literally worked my entire life to become good at the sport, and to have that kind of sense of accomplishment, I think is a pretty cool feeling. To get to live out your dreams is very special. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not out here to inspire the next generation of golfers. I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? This is not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling.
He said, what's the point?
This is not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of like the deepest, inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? You know, this is
What's the point? What's the point of working years and years and years to get a trophy, get a pat on the back, an attaboy, and then now what? And like I said, you know, these are quote unquote elite, you know, athletes. But they are feeling the same pull that this place is really just a facade, man. Okay? It's all empty. It's all vain. Okay?
not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of like the deepest, you know, places of your heart. You know, there's a lot of people that make it to what they thought was going to fulfill them in life, and then you get there and all of a sudden you get to number one in the world, and they're like, what's the point? And
what's the point? Okay? This is chapter 2, verse 21. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom and in knowledge and in equity, yet to a man that hath not labored therein shall he leave it for his portion. This also is vanity and a great evil. So regardless of if you win however many championships, like none of those things you can take with you, man. You know? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 1. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the other side of their oppressors, there was power, but they had no comforter. Going into our people, right? Because they're the ones that are really going in headlong in all of these Grammys and, actor and music and, entertainment and sports and all of these things. But all it is a gift destroying the heart, man. Okay. It's a form of oppression because 1 out of billions, in Esau's system are quote unquote, allowed to make it. And then you got to turn on your own people in order to sustain whatever, quote unquote status you do have. But ultimately, our people are missing the comforter, the Holy Spirit. Okay. Jump down here to verse 4. It says, again, and I considered all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. Because you get these riches, right? You win the title, and then what? You're not fulfilled. It's an accomplishment. You set yourself out on a task and you completed it. And then that's it. Okay? So this place is trash, man.
I really do believe that because, what is the point? Like, why do I want to win this tournament so bad? That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis. It's like showing up at the Masters every year. It's like, why do I want to win this golf tournament so badly? Why do I want to win the Open Championships?
Right, because it's been bred into these people that in itself is fulfillment. And the only true fulfillment is serving Yahweh by Shemiah. Matter of fact, let's just grab that real quick because I was going to wait. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh Shemiah and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That's it. Everything else is a gift. And then even that in itself on this side, it's all temporal. It's all transitory. Okay. But that is the whole duty that most people are missing. And that's the reason why they keep going headlong into Esau's wicked ass system and becoming unfulfilled. Spending their whole life chasing a carrot that was that was a virtual carrot. Wasn't even real. It wasn't even tangible, man. Okay?
So badly. I don't know. Because if I win, it's going to be awesome for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to get to the next week and it's going to be like, hey, you won 2 majors this year. How important is it for you to win the FedEx Cup playoffs? It's just like, we're back here again, So we really do. We work so hard for such little moments. And, I'm kind of a sicko. I love putting in the work. I love being able to practice. I love getting out to live out my dreams. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just don't understand the point.
Exactly. Because there is no
This
point.
is not...
You put up Psalms 1.
There is no point. Okay?
This is not a fulfillment.
Now, I'm gonna play this quick clip by Andrew Tate, and he goes into a couple rants or whatever, but he resounds the same point that the golfer that just won the tournament is saying, but just in a different way. So let's grab this real quick. This is Psalms 144, verse 4. Man is like to vanity. His days are as a shadow that passeth away. So yeah, you here today, you're gone tomorrow, right? You have Malcolm Jamal Warner, right? The quote unquote, son of the Cosbys, right? Here today, gone tomorrow. All right. But it was all vanity, right? Especially if you don't serve your how by Shemi Al Shai, because that's the duty, right? This is 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And that's just proving, man, we use the world as not abusing it, but at the same time too, the way in which we're using the world is not to make it our rest. That's what the scripture talks about. This is not your rest. Okay? So yeah, Andrew Tate's gonna go into a couple things as well, and then we'll wrap up.
Sex with Andrew consensually and no. Shut the fuck up. No one's buying your fucking book. Fuck off. Banging girls sucks. You can't kill your enemies. You can't go to war for anything that matters. Only goy slop bank bullshit. You're living in the age of the great distraction, and if you manage to make hundreds of millions of dollars like I did, there's literally nothing to do but buy a boat. I bought a yacht. I don't even want a fucking yacht. Tristan goes, let's buy a yacht. We have all this money. That's what rich people do. So we bought this yacht. I've commissioned a boat. I don't even fucking want it. What do I want to do with a fucking boat? Go where? Stand there on my fucking boat moaning that I'm bored.
All vanity. All is vanity. All the money in the world, all the cars in the world, all the women of the world, empty, unsatisfactory, through.
There's nothing to do but video games. Video games are the funnest thing to possibly do now. Even 10 years ago, okay, we didn't have great wars to fight for, but you could just go out with 20 pounds in your pocket, go to the club, socialize. Now we're all just fucking glued to our smartphones, arguing, obsessing over internet drama. Woke up this morning and some mulatto Muslim pimp, supposedly, had been sleeping with a right-wing e-girl. Fucking incredible. Nothing else to do but just join in online bullshit and complain about the fact they're replacing the native populations with Somalis as you sit in your bedroom fucking jerking off on Twitter about it. Get together a gang of fucking vigilantes and save your homeland. 100 years ago, if you had a problem with foreign invaders, you know what you did? You pulled out your fucking sword. Now what do? Edgy banter. Ooh, he's a fucking freedom fighter. He made a joke about it. This is all gay. Guys, have you...
Because the earth is giving into the hand of the wicked, man. Everything here is wicked. Everything here is GEY. Okay? This is because he had talked about women. Let's read this real quick. This is 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth, that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possessed not, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Well, what is the fashion of this world that passeth away? Where it goes into schema.
Strong's G 4976. Schema. Schema.
It says the habitus as comprising everything in a person which strikes the senses. Everything that strikes the senses. The flesh. The flesh is passing away. Okay? Because it's not profitable. Yahweh Shah said that. Okay? The flesh profited nothing. That's what this world is built off of. Emptiness and vanity, nothingness. It says the figure, bearing, discourse, action, manner of life. All of this is passing away. That's why you have a guy with millions of dollars sitting in a luxury vehicle, buying yachts, traveling the world, racing cars. But that fashion, that world, that idea of catering to the flesh, it's useless.
You notice that everything is boring now? You know, if we were born 100 years ago, we'd have purpose as men. We'd get up and we'd go to war. We'd join the Navy and blow up the French. Who doesn't want to blow the French up? Everyone wants to blow the French up. Even now, but we can't. 100 years from now, we'll be exploring space, conquering new planets. But now, what is there to do besides great distractions? Let me tell you, as somebody who's probably one of the most famous, wealthy men on the planet, I live the dream life. I am 6'3", professional fighter. I am rich. I am famous. I have everything you've been hoping for your whole fucking existence, and there's nothing to do.
It's empty. I'm going to read the verse again. 1 Corinthians 7:31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Let's look up this word here. Habitus.
Habitus.
A person's general constitution, especially physical build. Okay, let's get a little bit deeper into this definition. Let's get the etymon online. Habit, characteristic attire of religious, or clerical order, clothing, habit, conduct, condition, demeanor, appearance. Okay. In the appearance of this world, okay, what it stood for and what people are honoring, all of that's passing away, man. Only righteousness of Yahweh Shah will remain. Truth. Scripture talks about that, and truth shall flourish. Okay, matter of fact, let's grab that. Oh, faith shall flourish. Salakia. And the truth which had been so long without fruit. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 28. It says, as for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. Okay? It says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. Okay? That in itself is what is going to remain. Because all the rest of these senses, the figure, the bearing, the discourse, the actions, the manner of life, this social construct of Esau, the so-called white man, no longer. Okay? So, really, that's all I wanted to cover in the spirit. Yeah, and then I'll end off on actually this. This is Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 40. It says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." Why be as pilgrims upon the earth? Because all of this is transitory. This is not our rest. This is all just a temporary time period, temporary existence. Okay? That's why it's vanity. Okay? Pilgrims upon the earth, man. Just passing through. Okay? So, Lord will, this was edifying for the elect. We'll listen to another minute or two of this. And yeah, shalom.
I can race Lamborghinis around the mountains. That's fun. But I can only do that because I can afford the best cars on the planet, and I can afford all the legal bills for getting banned over and over again. And I live in a weird country like Romania where there's fun driving roads. If you live in America, there's nowhere fun to drive, and you can't even drive fast. I can drive 300 miles an hour in a mountain. I can risk my life. I can do that. That's a very niche activity. What's there to actually do? Fucking women sucks because women are bad people. And every single time you fuck one of them, they're just going to come back 2 years later trying to release a fucking book. I had sex with Andrew consensually and no. Shut the fuck up. No one's buying your fucking book. Fuck off. Banging girls sucks. You can't kill your enemies. You can't go to war for anything that matters. Only goy slop bank bullshit. You're living in the age of the great distraction, and if you manage to make hundreds of millions of dollars like I did, there's literally nothing to do but buy a boat. I bought a yacht. I don't even want a fucking yacht.